armed with a fork and a rake today. And I'm going to go get my landing net and see if I can find a bass. Just out for anything today. It's not the best tides in the world. We haven't had very much big tides at the moment, so I'm just going around scratching around just to see what I can find. I'll be happy with a little feed of cockles tonight. We'll see how it goes. All these big lumps everywhere. Those are logworm casts. I'm going fishing after I've been foraging, but it won't be part of a video. Just picked up my landing net. Just going to go to a little spot where I've had quite a few bass in the past, just foraging around. It's that time of year where you start seeing the big ones, so let's get the landing net out. The tide is perfect for here, so fingers crossed we can get one. I'm going to put the rake next to my dad's boat to see what we can get. As you can see, the ground I'm walking through is a gravel bed. It's actually a big gully that leads to the open sea, and often the bass, they'll be caught right up in the seaweed here, or around the corner where we get to the good spot. They're sort of little channels. They'll be about a foot deep, and they'll be following the tide out, and that's where I intercept them with a net. And hopefully manage to bag one. Perfect tides, but I didn't see one bass tonight. Beautiful clear water. I do prefer it when it's a bit more murky. When things are turned up, the bass tend to feed a bit more. There's shore crabs absolutely everywhere tonight. If I see any big ones, I might munch a couple. Shame there's no bass though. But hey, that's fishing. There's lobster, guys. Yeah, straight in the bag. Got myself a little Larry. I'm gonna carry on. Oh, there's another lobster. There's another one. Why is there so many lobsters? What the hell? There's two. Look, check this one out. I got him. Yes, I got him. That's a keeper. Look at that. 3 lobsters. Is there any more? What the hell's going on? This is all going to dry out soon as well. I just found Lobstertopia, and one of those is a keeper. Easy. Keep an eye out here. We've literally just found a ball of lobsters right at the end of the gully as well. I found lobsters here in the past, but never a keeper. Look at that, 3 of them. Will there be any more? Come on. That was a bonus. I can't believe we didn't see any bass down here, but I'll take a lobster any day. I haven't had a lobster foraging in ages. I can't believe that. Right. Let's keep my eyes peeled and see what else we can get. That's absolutely mental. That's a really good lobster, that one. Well, I certainly did not expect this today. Check these lobsters out. We've got one beauty just there. Look at that. That's a prime male lobster, that. And the other 2 are little mini ones. Just get in before I get pinched. Nice solid lobsters as well. That's a little male. That one can go back. And this one right here, if we can get away from the big claws. Check that out. Another one. That's a little female, that. There are 2 male lobsters and a female, all in the space of about 2 meters. That is absolutely epic. I've never had that before. Not so close together. That's brilliant to see. Everyone seems to be catching more lobsters in the pots at the moment as well. And that there, that's a fine lobster. Not an absolute giant, but that is a keeper any day of the week. Nice solid male lobster. Delicious. That's the start of our forage sorted, that's for sure. Can't believe that. See the lobsters working their way down. Brilliant to see. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's time to go get some cockles. I'm just heading to another reef now. I can't believe I got that. That's a big lobster for so high up the beach. Just heading to another reef where it might be a bass if I'm lucky, or maybe even another lobster if they're all pushed up in the rocks. You always find this time of year, when the spider crabs leave, that's when the lobsters will come out more. It's nice to see so many around. Even in the pots I'm starting to get them. So it's nice to see the ockies haven't cleared them all out. I'm at some oyster beds now. Very tiny oysters in here, not very big at all. A lot of this is actually like all the frames that they lay on have been damaged. You can see they're sort of about 1.5 inches. Very tiny little oysters. So nice to see them growing like this. Even as a kid I remember coming down this beach and seeing all the oyster bags. Used to be a lot more than this though. There's only sort of 20-30 bags on this when there used to be loads. Absolutely loads. Time to go get some big old cockles. There's some monsters down here at the moment in one little spot. I found them last time I was out, so I really fancied having a little cockle cook up. Got lobsters and cockles for breakfast, baby. Oh, so happy we got a lobster. That's sick. Right, I'm gonna go back to my boat and I'm gonna put my my lobster under some seaweed in a bucket, and then we're gonna go off and get some cockles. Just walked up the beach to my boat. I've had a rod stolen as well. I came here the other day, left my bass rod on the boat only overnight, and it got stolen, little buggers. Had a brand new pen reel on it as well, but hey, it is what it is. That's the risk you take when you leave your fishing gear on the boat. But the amount of years I've been here, and I've only ever had my dinghy stolen and that fishing rod, and that's it. But check that out. What a prime lobster. Not a giant, but look at the claws on that. That's mental. All three of them really close together. Everywhere else all I could see was shore crabs. I really thought we'd find a bass tonight, but I'm definitely not complaining. Really fancy a nice lobster. So I'm going to put the net away now. I've got my other bucket and we're going to go off find some cockles. Lovely big cockle for the picking right there. Really fond of cockles. They're really meaty. There's some big ones around. There's no point if there's a lot of small tiny stuff, but when they're this size or even bigger, yum, I'll take those all day long. We came for bass and cockles, and now we've got lobster. All we need now is the cockles. Probably walk up here and find a flatty with a rake. No, my luck, everything's backwards at the moment. I don't mind as long as we get a feed. Certainly no shortage of shore crabs around. You'll see how he's like filtering the water and the sand, picking out all the little pieces. Nature's clean-up crew, these boys. They see me, look, see my ugly face, and they want out. Check this out, guys. I am really high up the beach now, and that's a guaranteed lobster hole. And there's an entrance here. A big sort of tunnel goes under this giant rock. It's quite interesting. Maybe the lobsters are just pushed up higher into the boulders at the moment. Certainly seeing a lot of life up in the close bit. They're so fast getting through the sand. These are sand eels. Get them in abundance this time of year. Little pin sand eels. And what we're after is these little bad boys. Cockles. That's all I'm doing with this, guys. You may have seen in previous videos. It's just a case of raking the top inch of sand and waiting for a big old cockle to appear. There's a few stones around here, so like usually you can listen out for sort of a click on the rake like that, and you'll get them that way. But a lot of the time they'll just roll out the sand and you'll see them. That's the size of cockle we're after. Look at that. Proper golf ball size. Not a huge amount of cockles around here. The ones we do find, usually they're really good size. I actually left this spot for a long time before I started foraging here again, just to sort of replenish the spot. And it certainly worked, because the size of the cockles that you find here now, judging from last trip anyway, they are certainly a lot bigger average. It's a bit small, that one. Leave that one for another day. Ooh, I heard one there. There he is. It's a lot better size. I don't want masses of cockles. Just enough to go with our little feed. Happy days. Not finding many giant ones today. Last time I was here, I was pulling out quite a few of the really big ones, but this trip, they're definitely not in force. That's another lovely one. Took a while to find it, but we got one. Starting to find a little patch of them here. There. I don't know where all the cockles went, but I got a couple. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk back up the beach. Low tide's in 20 minutes, so I'm going to walk up the beach, go to the low water edge, because it's flatty season now. You might find a flat fish if I'm lucky, or maybe even a bass in the shallows. So I've got a few cockles for the cook up. We've got our lobster, so I don't want much seafood. It'd be nice to go see if there's any fish around. So we're on a mission back across the beach and straight back in the water. Always a welcome treat. See how he's buried in the sand? You can tell he's been washed around a bit because he's so clean. But hey, we'll take him. Give them a good clean off after. This is just to get some of that sand out. Not many today, that's for sure, but we will find some as we're walking around the beach. There's a burrow under here. I'm hoping there's a lobster. It was a conger. There you go. Dug out burrow. No lobster. A little conger under there. There must have been a lobster at one point. I'm super high up the beach. How is there no lobster under there? It looks so dug out. Ugh. There's a bass here, guys. Yes, got him. I got him, baby. Aye, aye. Nice bass. See if we can get another one. You beauty. That's a keeper all day long. I wanted to come to the shore edge just to have a look, as there's always a chance. Always. It's the things with bass, you just never know when they're going to show up. And look at that. That's a fine little specimen. About a 3 pounder, I reckon. 2.5, 3 pound. Hopefully we haven't spooked any more if they're here. We've still got a long way to go along this reef. What's funny is I actually came to the shore edge looking for lobsters because there's lobsters high up the beach. It's always the way. If you go and target something, you won't find it. But if you don't go looking for it, you will find it. It's always the way with foraging. You just never know what's going to turn up and when. But I'm so glad that we've been out, because it's not the best tide in the world tonight. And we've got a nice old feast. Look at that little beauty. That's not a bad spider at all, that. Oh look, it's got a female underneath him. I'll leave you to your business, my friend. I salute you. We've got a keeper lobster. There seems to be a lot of prawns around at the moment, but they are very small. So I'm just going to go for a little wander around. Then I'll see you guys in the kitchen for a cook-up. I may let the cockles go yet, because we've got a nice bass and a nice lobster. I don't really need a couple of dozen cockles, so I'd rather let those go for another day and then come forage some more when there's a bit more around. Ah, I'm over the moon with this. Really pleased. Lovely golden bass, that one. Around the 2.5 pound mark, I think. Something like that. I wouldn't say it's £3, but 2.5. Good sized bass. Perfectly legal to take for the table. I'm gonna have a fillet, and so is my kids. They've been asking me for fish lately, but because of the wind we've had, I haven't been out. So I'm gonna knock this bass on the head now, and it's for tea, baby. I almost forgot my bucket of cockles. Don't want to forget them. So I'm just going to take them back to where all the cockle bed is. It's just up the end here. There's a bit of a pool they can sit in, bury themselves in for the next tide. There we go. Cockles go free, and the bass comes with me. Aye aye. So that there, that is not a bad forage whatsoever. That's a lovely sized bass. Lovely sized lobster. We'll take those all day long. Nice eating sized fish, that. Kids are going to love me for that one. Aye aye. Some lovely fish. What a feast. Back in the kitchen, guys. A nice old summer dish. A good old lobster pita bread. Yum. All we need now, some sweet chilli sauce. Nice big chunks of meat in this lobster. I'm going to save the big claw for my son, and the rest we're going to have a nice old pita bread. All I'm going to do with this lobster is just do some nice thin strips. Lovely and juicy. This was cooked last night. We're ready to go. All of that is going in our pita bread. Steaming hot. That's all I like to do to these guys. Just get your knife in and just run it along the pita bread and open her up nicely. So then you got, as you can see there, a lovely little pocket. So I'm just going to let that cool down a little bit so my lettuce don't go soft. Then we'll start layering it out. So now it's cooled down a little bit. We're just going to get our lobster and make sure you push it right to the back and just layer it out all over the pita bread. You don't need this much lobster in it, but I'm being greedy. Yum. So get a good amount of lobster in there. Get that tail meat as well. And what I'm going to do, the good old sweet chili sauce, get that in there, and then a little bit of rabbit food on top. Not a big fan of lettuce and stuff, so I don't have a lot of it. And that there is a mighty fine meal. Nice little lunchtime snack, and I can guarantee that's going to be delicious. Ooh, I've got the bass filleted in the fridge as well. So I'm going to have that for tea. This is my lunch. Pita breads are the perfect little pocket for seafood. They don't have a huge amount of flavour to them, so you really do taste all the seafood. It's amazing. Looking forward to this. I could not believe I found those lobsters in a 2 metre sort of area. I was like, got the first one, I was like, oh wow, a lobster. Looked down, there was another one and another one, literally right in the kelp next to it, in the right in the bobbleweed next to it. Amazing to see. There's definitely an influx in lobsters right now, but you always find, like, end of the spider crab season. I don't get a lot of lobsters foraging anymore, so when I do, highly enjoy. Oh, so good. I won't need the video any longer, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be out on the next tide and hopefully we have some more luck. So stay tuned for the next episode. If you want any merch, the link's in the description. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. There's going to be plenty more to come. This was absolutely delicious. It's my fishing, baby. Woo!